I never thought I'd be that person. You know, the type of person who lives in two different worlds and manages to keep them perfectly separate. I used to roll my eyes at stories like that on Reddit, thinking they were exaggerated or straight up fake. But now, I've been living one for years, and it's all about to come crashing down. I'm 34, married for 10 years to my husband, Alex, 36. We live in a quiet suburb, the kind of place where nothing exciting ever happens. Our marriage started like a fairy tale. High school sweethearts, went to college together, got our first apartment together. We were the couple friends used to joke about, how we were proof that true love existed. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Sometimes, perfect turns into predictable, and predictable turns into suffocating. 3 years ago, I was working remotely for a marketing firm. Most days, my life was a loop: wake up, coffee, emails, laundry, dinner, Netflix, sleep. Then one day, I was sent to a week-long conference in Chicago. That's where I met him, Ethan. Ethan was everything Alex wasn't. Charming in a dangerous way. Funny without trying. He had this energy that made me feel like I was 20 again. We talked all night at a networking mixer, and even though I told myself it was harmless, deep down I already knew it wasn't. We slept together the third night of the trip. I thought it would just be a one-time mistake. But after I came home, Ethan texted me. I shoulda ignored him. At first, it was just harmless flirting. Then phone calls. Then weekend trips I told Alex were work travel. Before long, I was spending every other weekend in Ethan's downtown apartment. I kept a toothbrush there. Clothes. I even knew the names of his neighbors. It was intoxicating. The crazy part, I never felt guilty in the moment. When I was with Ethan, it was like I'd stepped into an alternate reality, where I wasn't a wife, where I wasn't responsible for bills or in-laws or meal prepping. I was just me. And Ethan made me feel seen in a way Alex hadn't in years. Alex, of course, had no idea. He's not the suspicious type. If anything, he trusted me too much. I started getting good at lying. Scary good. I learned to keep my phone on silent, to delete texts, to create fake client meetings on my calendar. But last month, I made a mistake. And now, I think my double life is about to be exposed. It started with something small. Ethan posted a picture on Instagram. Just his breakfast, coffee and pancakes. But in the corner of the picture, you can see my sweater draped over a chair. The same sweater Alex bought me for Christmas 2 years ago. At first, I thought nothing of it. Who would notice? But then one of Alex's friends, someone who follows Ethan, because they're into the same hobby, saw it. And apparently, he recognized the sweater. This morning, Alex asked me, "Hey, do you know someone named Ethan?" The way my stomach dropped. I swear I almost passed out. I tried to keep my voice steady. Ethan, no, doesn't ring a bell. Why? Alex just looked at me for a second too long. Not angry, not accusing, just watching. Then he shrugged. No reason. Thought I saw your sweater in a picture he posted. Guess it's just similar. That should have been my chance to shut it down. Smile. Change the subject. Move on. But something about the way he said it, calm, quiet, made me wonder if he was testing me. The rest of the day, I was on edge. Every time Alex glanced at his phone, I was convinced he was messaging someone about me. Every time his tone shifted, I thought, he knows. That night in bed, he didn't try to touch me. He just lay there, scrolling, while I stared at the ceiling pretending to sleep. My phone buzzed under my pillow. Ethan. I didn't dare look at it. The next morning, Alex left early for work, but his car was still in the driveway. I saw it from the upstairs window. That's when panic set in. I grabbed my phone and texted Ethan, me, delete that pancake photo now. Ethan, what? Why? Me, just do it. I'll explain later. Then I heard the front door. Alex walked in, holding 2 coffees. I thought you left, I said, trying to sound normal. I was going to, he replied, handing me one of the cups. But I realized I forgot my laptop. And while I was here, he held up my phone, my locked phone. I thought we should talk. My heart started pounding. I keep my phone password protected. I never give it to him. So how? I saw Ethan's name pop up on your screen last night, he said. Didn't want to wake you, so I figured I'd just ask you today. I felt the heat rising in my face. He's a client from Chicago. We've worked together for a while. Alex nodded slowly, sipping his coffee like we were just chatting about the weather. Right. And do your clients usually send you hearts at 1 a.m.? I had no answer. My throat felt tight. Alex didn't yell. He didn't throw things. He just got quiet. That's worse. Somehow. He set the coffee down and said, I'm going to work now. We'll talk tonight. As soon as the door closed, I broke. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type. I texted Ethan, me, he knows something. Don't contact me until I figure this out. Ethan, Then come here. Leave before it blows up. And for one insane moment, I thought about it. About packing a bag, walking out the door, and never looking back. That entire day, my mind wasn't at work. I don't even remember half the emails I sent. All I could think about was Alex's face when he asked me about Ethan. That calm, careful look like a hunter watching prey from the shadows. By the time I got home, it was dark. Alex's car was in the driveway. The lights were on. My stomach twisted. When I walked inside, he was sitting at the kitchen table with his laptop open. He didn't look up. "Hey," I said. "Hey." Silence. He clicked something on his screen, and then swiveled it toward me. My breath caught. It was Ethan's Instagram profile, public, bright, and full of photos. In the most recent one, from a month ago, you could clearly see me in the reflection of a coffee shop window. Not obvious to strangers but to Alex. Unmistakable. "You sure you don't know him?" Alex asked quietly. My mouth went dry. "That's not." He cut me off. "I'm not an idiot. My name." I wanted to deny it, to spin another lie, but the weight in the room made it impossible. My body betrayed me. My hands trembled. My voice cracked. "How long?" he asked. I didn't answer. He slammed the laptop shut. 3 years. 2. "How long have you been making a fool of me?" Something inside me snapped. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was the exhaustion of juggling 2 lives. But I said it. 3 years. His face went pale, like I'd just punched him. "And what? You thought I'd never find out?" I didn't have the courage to say yes. He stood, pacing the kitchen. "Do you love him?" I opened my mouth, closed it, opened it again. "I don't know." That answer must have been worse than a no. He just laughed, a bitter, hollow sound, and walked toward the stairs. "We'll talk in the morning," he said, voice shaking. "Right now, I can't even look at you." When I finally went upstairs later, the bedroom door was locked. I barely slept. Every creak in the house felt like the start of a conversation I wasn't ready for. By morning, Alex was gone. There was a note on the counter. "You have until tonight to decide if you want to tell me the truth about everything. If you don't, I'll find out myself." The worst part, I believed him. Alex is quiet, but when he wants answers, he'll get them. At 10 a.m., Ethan called. Not texted, called. That never happens during the day. "Come to my place," he said. "If he's giving you a deadline, you don't want to be there when the clock runs out." My pulse hammered in my ears. Part of me wanted to run straight into Ethan's arms. Another part knew that running would make me look even more guilty, and maybe dangerous, if Alex decided to follow me. And then, as if the universe wanted to push me over the edge, I got a text from an unknown number. "I know about Ethan. Meet me tonight." Alone? I stared at the message until the text blurred. It wasn't Alex's number. I knew that immediately. I'd memorized every digit of his. This was different. Out-of-state area code. I typed back before I could think. "Me? Who is this?" No reply. 5 minutes passed. 10. Just when I was about to toss my phone across the room, another buzz. "Unknown. If you care about staying married, you come." 8 p.m. The corner cafe. My stomach twisted into knots. Whoever this was, they knew enough to make the threat sting. Ethan kept calling. I ignored him. Finally, I texted, "Me, can't talk. Someone else knows." "Ethan, what do you mean someone else?" "Ooh, me, not sure yet. I'll handle it." The day crawled. I tried to work, but my head was spinning with possibilities. Was it one of Alex's friends? A neighbor? Worse, someone in Ethan's life. By 7:45, I was parked across the street from the corner cafe. It was the kind of small, dimly lit place where no one paid attention to anyone else. I sat there for a moment, gripping the steering wheel, debating whether to just drive away. Then a figure stepped out of the cafe and scanned the parking lot. Tall, mid 40s, expensive coat. He spotted me instantly, and walked over. I rolled the window down an inch. "Who are you?" He smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "My name's Daniel. I'm Ethan's brother." My blood went cold. "You and I need to have a chat," he continued, pulling open the passenger door and sliding in without asking. "See, Ethan, he's not exactly who you think he is." I gripped the door handle. "I don't know what you're talking about." Daniel leaned in close enough for me to smell his cologne. "You've been playing house with my brother for 3 years. You think he hasn't been bragging about that to the wrong people?" I swallowed hard. "Bragging about what?" He pulled out his phone and tapped the screen. A video started playing, grainy, but unmistakable. Me and Ethan, in his apartment, kissing. The timestamp was from 2 months ago. "I don't know how much your husband knows," Daniel said, "but if you want to keep this little movie off the internet, you're going to do exactly what I tell you." My throat tightened. "And if I don't?" He smiled again, slow, deliberate. "Then by tomorrow morning, Alex will see every second of it, along with a few other people who might find it interesting." The air felt heavy, like the walls were closing in. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Daniel's answer was calm, almost casual. "You're going to help me get something from Ethan, something he owes me, and you're going to do it without him knowing, or your life as you know it is over." I sat frozen in the driver's seat, Daniel's words circling in my head like a noose tightening around my neck. "What could Ethan possibly owe you?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Daniel smirked. "Let's just say my little brother has a habit of making expensive mistakes, and you're going to help me fix one of them." He handed me a folded piece of paper. Inside was an address, a sleek condo building in the city. "Tomorrow," he said, "Ethan will be at work around noon. You go to his place, get into his desk, and find a black leather folder. Don't open it. Just bring it to me." I blinked at him. "You want me to break into his apartment?" Daniel's voice hardened. "No, I want you to use your key." My stomach dropped. The fact that he knew I had a key to Ethan's place told me everything. He'd been watching us. "If you even think about warning him," Daniel continued, "the video gets sent. You've got 24 hours. He opened the door and stepped out into the cold night, leaving me with the address burning a hole in my hand. The drive home felt like it took hours. Every red light was a chance to turn around, go to Ethan, confess to Alex, anything but follow Daniel's plan. But the image of that video kept playing in my head. When I walked into the house, Alex was in the living room, watching TV. He didn't look up. "You eat?" I asked. "Yeah," he said flatly. The air between us was so thick I could barely breathe. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Ethan again. I silenced it without looking. That night, I lay in bed next to my husband, wondering how my life had managed to unravel this far. I thought about the first time Ethan kissed me, the rush I felt, how alive it made me. And now here I was, caught between two men, neither of whom I could trust. Morning came too fast. I called in sick to work. My hands shook as I drove into the city. The condo building was exactly as Daniel described, modern glass, valet parking. Inside Ethan's apartment, everything smelled like him. It made my chest ache in ways I didn't expect. I went straight to the desk in his bedroom, found the drawer, and there it was, a black leather folder, thick and heavy. I stared at it for a full minute. Curiosity burned in me. What was so important that Daniel would blackmail me to get it? I unzipped it. Inside were stacks of documents, some bound with rubber bands, others loose. And then I saw it, a photograph of Ethan with a man I didn't recognize, shaking hands over a briefcase. Taped to the back was a note, $250,000 by end of month or it goes public. Before I could process it, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered, voice trembling. "Hello." Daniel's voice was calm but sharp. "Do you have it?" "Yes," I whispered. "Good," he said. "Now listen carefully. You're not bringing it to me. Plans have changed. And if you value your life, you'll do exactly what I say next." My grip tightened on the phone. "What do you mean, plans have changed?" I asked, glancing at the folder on Ethan's desk like it might explode. Daniel's tone was almost bored. "Turns out Ethan's got a meeting tonight with some people who really want what you're holding. You're going to bring it there yourself." My pulse spiked. "Why me?" "Because if I show up, he'll know something's wrong." "But you." "He trusts you." There was a pause, and then he added, "And before you even think about tipping him off, I've got someone watching your house. If you go home without that folder, Alex will get a special delivery." I swallowed hard. "Where's the meeting?" Daniel rattled off an address, a warehouse district near the docks, the kind of place you only see in crime shows. My stomach turned. After he hung up, I just stood there, folder in hand, trying to figure out which direction would ruin my life slower, helping Daniel, or betraying him. I stuffed the folder into my tote bag, and left Ethan's apartment, heart pounding the whole elevator ride down. As soon as I was in my car, I dialed Ethan. He picked up on the first ring. "Where the hell have you been? I've been calling you all night." I forced my voice to stay even. "Ethan, your brother came to me." Silence. Then, "Daniel." His tone dropped. "Dangerous." "What did he want?" He knows about us. He has a video." Ethan swore under his breath. "What else?" "He told me to get something from your place." "A black folder." A beat of silence. "You didn't open it, did you?" I hesitated. "Just a little." "God damn it." His voice was sharp now. "Listen to me. You can't give that folder to Daniel. You have no idea what's in there or who it belongs to." "Then what am I supposed to do?" I asked, my voice cracking. "I'll meet you tonight," Ethan said. "Don't go anywhere near Daniel. And whatever you do, don't go to the docks." I hung up, my hands shaking. Driving home, I kept checking the rearview mirror. Every car looked like it was following me. When I pulled into my street, my stomach sank. Alex's car was gone. Inside the house, everything felt wrong. The curtains were half closed, like someone had been peeking out. A coffee mug that wasn't there this morning sat on the counter. Then I saw it, a plain envelope on the dining table with my name scrawled in black marker. Inside were printed screenshots of Ethan's Instagram and tucked behind them, a single photograph of Alex. He was sitting in his car, looking at his phone, but the picture had been taken from just a few feet away. There was no note. The message was clear enough. They're watching all of us. I didn't even have time to sit down before my phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered cautiously. Hello. Daniel's voice was sharper now. You've got the folder, right? Yes, I said, glancing at the envelope on the table. Good. Be at the docks by 9. And remember, if you're late, your husband gets a video he'll never forget. Before I could respond, he hung up. I stared at the clock. 7:42 p.m. Just over an hour. My phone buzzed again, this time, Ethan. I let it ring twice before answering. Where are you? He demanded. At home. Don't move. I'm coming to get you. If you show up at that meeting, they won't let you walk out. Daniel doesn't care what happens to you. He just wants the folder. His voice was urgent, almost panicked. You need to trust me. My name. I almost laughed. Trust you? You've been lying to me for 3 years. This is different, he snapped. That folder, it's tied to people way above me. Above Daniel. You can't hand it over. Just. A knock at the door cut him off. I froze. Through the peephole, I saw Alex. He wasn't smiling. His jaw was tight, eyes cold. I have to go, I told Ethan, and hung up. I opened the door just enough for Alex to step inside. He looked around the room, eyes landing on the tote bag by the chair. Is that his? He asked. My pulse pounded in my ears. Alex, I can explain. Don't bother. I already know everything. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a small black USB drive, setting it on the table between us. What's that? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Your boyfriend's brother gave it to me, Alex said. Told me it's a preview of what's coming if I don't back off. My stomach turned. You met Daniel? Alex nodded. He approached me in the parking lot at work today. Said you were caught up in something dangerous. He told me to stay out of it or I'd regret it. I could barely breathe. And you believe him? Alex's eyes locked on mine. I don't know who to believe anymore, but I do know one thing. If you walk out that door tonight, you're not coming back. The clock read 8:21 p.m. I was running out of time. My phone buzzed with a text from Daniel. Leave now. Come alone. If I see him with you, it's over. Ethan's name flashed on my screen right after. I'm 2 blocks away. Get in my car when you see it. Alex was still blocking the doorway. Where are you going? He asked. I didn't answer. I just grabbed the tote bag and pushed past him. Outside, the street felt too quiet. A dark sedan idled at the corner, Ethan's. At the same time, another pair of headlights turned onto the block from the opposite end. Daniel? Both cars slowed as they saw me. For a moment, I couldn't move. Ethan's car rolled toward me from one side, Daniel's from the other, their headlights cutting sharp white beams through the dark. Behind me, the sound of Alex's footsteps on the pavement made my skin prickle. Get in, Ethan shouted through his open window, slowing to a crawl beside me. His eyes darted nervously past me, toward the other car. Daniel's sedan stopped just a few yards away. The passenger window slid down, and he leaned toward me, his voice calm but commanding. Don't be stupid. You get in with him. You're dead before midnight. Alex's voice cut through the air from behind. Don't you dare get in either of those cars. My name. 3 voices. 3 demands. My heart hammering so hard it hurt. Ethan's tone sharpened. If you give him that folder, you're done. He'll hand it off to people you don't want knowing your name. Daniel just smiled faintly. Come on. You and I both know you can't trust him. 3 years of secrets, and you still think you matter to him. At least with me, you walk away alive. Alex was closer now, his hand brushing my arm. Please, he said, softer this time. Don't walk away from this house and into something worse. Just tell me the truth, and we'll figure it out. The tote bag felt like a lead weight on my shoulder. I glanced down the street. A few houses had their porch lights on, but no one was watching. This whole scene was invisible to the world. Ethan's car edged forward. Last chance. Daniel's voice dropped lower, almost a growl. If you get in with him, you'll never see your husband again. Alex's grip tightened on my arm. If you get in with either of them, I'm calling the cops right now. I was standing at the center of a triangle. 1 step toward Ethan, 1 toward Daniel, 1 back into Alex's house. My breath came out in short bursts. I thought about the video, the photograph of Alex being watched, the black folder burning a hole through the fabric of my tote. I thought about the note in the folder demanding $250,000. And then I thought about what Daniel had said. Your life as you know it is over. Daniel's headlights flickered twice, like some silent signal. Ethan slammed his palm against his steering wheel, honking once, short and sharp. Alex was whispering now, almost pleading. Don't do this. The seconds stretched, too long, too heavy. My fingers gripped the tote strap so hard they hurt. And then I moved. I took one sharp breath and bolted toward Ethan's car. Alex shouted my name, but I yanked the door open and dove inside before he could grab me. Ethan slammed his foot on the gas. The tires squealed. Headlights from Daniel's car swinging wildly in the rearview mirror as we sped down the street. What the hell was that? I panted, clutching the tote bag. You were about 3 seconds from disappearing with him, Ethan said, eyes fixed on the road. You don't get it. Daniel doesn't care about you. He's using you to clean up his own mess. I laughed bitterly. And you're not. He glanced at me, jaw tight. Not like this. Behind us, Daniel's sedan was gaining. He's following us, I said. I know, Ethan replied. We just have to make it to the meeting first. My head snapped toward him. The meeting. The one you told me not to go to. Ethan didn't answer right away. His grip on the wheel tightened. Plans changed. If we show up without that folder, they'll come after both of us. If we show up with it, maybe we can make a deal. And if the deal goes bad, I asked, then at least I can get you out before it does. I didn't like the way he said before it does. The city lights faded as we neared the docks. Cranes loomed overhead like skeletons in the dark. Ethan pulled into a narrow alley between two warehouses and killed the headlights. Daniel's car didn't follow, but I could see him slowing on the main road, like a shark circling. Ethan turned to me. Listen, when we get inside, let me do the talking. Don't give them your real name. And no matter what happens, don't hand the folder to anyone but me. I stared at him. Who are these people? Before he could answer, another car, black, tinted windows, pulled into the alley and stopped behind us. 3 men got out, silhouettes against the dim glow of the street lamp. The one in front spoke first. You got it. Ethan opened his door slowly, motioning for me to stay put. He reached for the tote bag, but I hesitated. Something in my gut screamed, don't let go. My name, he said firmly. Give it to me. Then, from the mouth of the alley, Daniel's voice echoed. Don't you dare, sis-in-law. You hand that to him, you won't live to regret it. Both brothers were staring at me now, one promising safety, the other warning of death, while the 3 strangers between them waited, silent and unreadable. I tightened my grip on the bag, realizing that whoever I gave it to, the other side might kill me for it. The air in that alley felt like it was pressing down on me, thick and suffocating. Ethan's eyes locked on mine, a silent demand, trust me. Daniel's smirk was a dare, call my bluff. The 3 strangers between them didn't move, just stood there, watching me like a poker table full of players, waiting for the turn card. My pulse pounded in my ears. I thought about the video, about Alex's face if he ever saw it, about the strange note in the folder demanding $250,000. None of it felt real anymore. Ethan took a slow step toward me. You don't have to be scared, he said. Just hand me the bag and we'll walk away together. Daniel laughed under his breath. You actually believe that? She hands it to you, you disappear with the money, and she's left holding the fallout. One of the strangers spoke, voice low and calm. Clock's ticking. Folder. Now. Something in me snapped. I slung the tote over my shoulder tighter, and said, no one's getting it until I know what's inside and why it's worth my life. That broke the standoff. Daniel lunged forward, grabbing my wrist. Ethan shoved him back, slamming him against the side of the warehouse. One of the strangers moved toward me, but I darted back, clutching the bag like it was my last lifeline. Enough. The tallest stranger barked, and suddenly 2 more men emerged from the black car, both with guns drawn. Ethan froze, his hands up. Daniel cursed but didn't move. The tall man turned to me. You've got something that belongs to us. Before I could respond, a shout echoed from the far end of the alley. Police. Drop it. It was Alex. He was standing in the glow of his car's headlights, one hand holding a pistol, the other holding up a badge. My jaw nearly hit the pavement. Daniel's face twisted in confusion. You're a cop. Alex didn't take his eyes off the armed men. Federal. And lady. His voice hardened. You're in a hell of a lot more trouble than you think. The strangers didn't drop their weapons. The tall one stepped closer. You've got no jurisdiction here, agent. Walk away. Alex moved toward me slowly, his gaze flicking to the tote. Give me the folder. My name. Now. Ethan hissed through his teeth. Don't do it. They'll bury this and you with it. Daniel's hand twitched toward his jacket. The alley was a powder keg, and I was the match. The first gunshot was deafening. I didn't even see who fired. Just the muzzle flash and the shockwave that rattled my bones. Chaos erupted instantly. Ethan dove toward me, shoving me behind a dumpster. Daniel hit the ground, rolling for cover. The strangers fanned out, returning fire at Alex, who was already moving toward the car for a better angle. The tote was still clutched to my chest. My knuckles ached from gripping it so hard, but letting go felt like death. Ethan grabbed my arm. We've got to move, now. Bullets smacked into the brick wall behind us. I could smell the gunpowder, sharp and metallic. My ears rang so hard the shouts around me blurred into static. We bolted down the narrow side alley. I risked a glance back. Alex was advancing, shouting something I couldn't hear, his gun aimed at one of the armed men. 2 strangers were down, either dead or badly hurt. Daniel was nowhere in sight. We burst out onto a side street. Ethan didn't slow, dragging me toward an idling van. The driver, a weary man with a face I didn't recognize, yanked the door open. In, he barked. I hesitated. Something about climbing into a strange van, after being shot, it didn't exactly scream safe. Ethan noticed. You either get in, or you end up on a slab. Your call. I climbed in. The door slammed shut behind us, and the van lurched forward. I tried to catch my breath, but my heart was still running a marathon in my chest. Where are we going? Ethan didn't answer right away. He pulled a phone from his pocket, tapped out a quick message, and then turned to me. Somewhere Alex won't find you, and somewhere you can open that folder. My eyes darted to the tote. Why does everyone want it? He leaned in close, his voice low. Because it's not just evidence, it's leverage. Against people who run this city from the shadows. I swallowed hard. And what happens if they find out I've read it? Ethan gave a humorless laugh. Then they'll stop shooting at you, and start shooting for you. The driver took a hard turn, throwing me against the seat. City lights streaked past the windows. Somewhere behind us, I thought I heard sirens, but they were fading. Ethan finally pulled the folder from the tote. It was heavier than it should have been, the thick envelope sealed with red wax. He broke the seal without hesitation. Inside were a handful of photographs, a flash drive, and a single handwritten note. The photos were grainy, taken at night, men in suits exchanging briefcases, a woman I recognized from the news laughing with someone whose face was blurred. But the note. My stomach turned as I read the first line. In the event of my death, release this to the following outlets. The signature at the bottom was one I knew too well. Alex. My hands trembled as I held the note. Alex's familiar handwriting slashed across the page, each letter sharp and deliberate. Ethan watched my reaction closely. You didn't know? No, I said, my voice breaking. Why would Alex leave something like this? He took the photos from me, flipping through them quickly. Because he knew the game was catching up to him. This, he tapped the folder, is an insurance policy. On the right desk, it keeps him alive. On the wrong one, it gets him killed. I couldn't wrap my head around it. The Alex I knew wasn't perfect, but he wasn't a shadow broker dealing in blackmail and blood money. At least, I thought he wasn't. The driver pulled the van into an underground parking garage. The air smelled of damp concrete and oil. Ethan motioned for me to follow. Where are we? I asked. Somewhere quiet, he said, scanning the shadows. We need to decide what to do next before Alex finds us. We reached a small, dimly lit storage room. Ethan shut the door behind us and locked it. I could hear my own breathing echoing in the silence. What's on the drive? I asked, gesturing to the flash drive. He plugged it into a battered laptop sitting on a metal table. A folder popped up instantly. Hundreds of files, audio recordings, scanned documents. The names on them were like a who's who of the city's elite, judges, politicians, CEOs. One file was labeled with today's date. Ethan opened it, and my stomach lurched. It was a live feed from a hidden camera in our apartment. On screen, Alex sat at the kitchen table, phone pressed to his ear. He wasn't frantic. He wasn't even worried. He was smiling. Ethan hit a key and the audio came through. Yeah, she has it. No, I'm not worried. Ethan will bring her in. He always does. I froze. What? Ethan's jaw tightened. He's lying. He's trying to make you think. But doubt had already started gnawing at me. Why should I trust you? I demanded. For all I know, you're both playing me. He stepped closer, his eyes locked on mine. Because if you don't, Alex will decide you're more valuable dead than alive. And he'll make it look like I pulled the trigger. I backed away, my mind a whirl of panic. The note, the photos, the fact that Alex seemed calm. The truth slammed into me like a punch. I wasn't a witness. I was a bargaining chip. Before I could speak, Ethan's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, then cursed under his breath. They're here. From outside the storage room came the unmistakable sound of boots hitting concrete. The boots grew louder, their rhythm steady and deliberate. Ethan drew his gun, motioning for me to stay behind him. My heart pounded so hard it felt like it might crack my ribs. The door handle rattled once, twice. Then, with a sharp metallic shriek, it swung open. Alex stepped inside. He wasn't armed, at least, not visibly, but the calmness in his eyes was more dangerous than any weapon. Two men in black tactical gear flanked him, their rifles already trained on Ethan. Sweetheart, Alex said softly, as if we'd just run into each other at the grocery store. You look tired. He's been dragging you through all this, hasn't he? Ethan tightened his grip on the gun. Don't come closer. Alex ignored him, his gaze fixed on me. I told you years ago, Ethan's loyalty is flexible. Do you really think he rescued you out of the goodness of his heart? He was paid to keep you alive. By me. That's a lie, Ethan shot back, but something in his tone was brittle. I swallowed hard. Paid to keep me alive for what? Alex's smile was faint, but his eyes glinted. Insurance. Everyone has a weakness. You're mine. And as long as you're breathing, I can keep certain people in check. The weight of his words sank in. I wasn't just a bargaining chip. I was leverage in a game I didn't understand. Now, Alex continued, you have something that belongs to me. Hand over the drive, and we can walk out of here. Ethan shook his head. You hand it to him, and you're dead in an hour. He just won't do it himself. My hands trembled as I gripped the flash drive in my pocket. Both men were watching me now, their faces masks of control, but I could feel the tension throbbing between them. The two guards stepped forward, rifles shifting. Ethan raised his gun, but Alex lifted a hand. Not yet. For a moment, none of us moved. My pulse roared in my ears. Then Ethan whispered, just loud enough for me to hear, pick a side. Now. The air in the room felt suffocating. If I gave Alex the drive, Ethan might be right. I wouldn't survive the night. If I trusted Ethan, and Alex was right, I'd just handed my life to a hired traitor. My fingers tightened around the flash drive. I had to choose. I took a deep breath and stepped forward, my palm sweating around the flash drive. Alex's gaze locked on it, a flicker of triumph flashing in his eyes. Ethan's jaw clenched. He was ready to pull the trigger the second I made the wrong move. I stopped between them. I'll give it to you, I said, my voice steady, but only if you both back off. Alex chuckled low. You're not in a position to negotiate. I flicked my wrist, tossing the drive toward Alex. Both his men instinctively tracked it with their eyes, and in that split second, Ethan moved. He lunged, grabbing my arm, and shoving me to the floor just as the flash drive bounced off Alex's palm and shattered, not into plastic shards, but into a cloud of fine, glittering dust. Alex's expression went from smug to furious in an instant. What did you? That, I said, scrambling to my feet, was a decoy. The real one's already halfway across the city. Before Alex could give the order, Ethan fired twice. One guard dropped instantly, the other staggered, weapon clattering to the ground. Alex dove behind the couch, drawing a pistol from under his jacket. The sound of gunfire thundered through the room, deafening and chaotic. I ducked behind the wall, adrenaline burning through me. Somewhere in the chaos, Alex shouted, you think you've won. She'll never trust you when she learns what you really are, Ethan. But I didn't have time to process his words. Ethan grabbed my hand, pulling me toward the back door. Outside, cold night air hit my lungs like ice. We ran through the alley, footsteps pounding behind us. Alex wasn't done. Ethan turned sharply, shoving me toward a waiting car. Get in. I froze. Not until you tell me the truth. His eyes flicked toward the alley mouth, Alex's shadow growing closer, then back to me. You won't like it, he said. Tell me, I demanded. His voice was almost lost in the sound of approaching boots. I didn't lie. I was paid to protect you. But not just by Alex. My blood ran cold. Then by who? Ethan's jaw tightened, his next words slicing through the chaos like a blade. Your husband, he said. I felt my knees weaken. What? He knew Alex was circling you. He knew about the data. He didn't want you dead, but he didn't want you free, either. I was supposed to keep you in just enough danger so you'd run back to him. Helpless. Grateful. The truth hit harder than any bullet could have. My entire marriage, my entire life, had been a setup. Behind us, Alex's footsteps grew louder. His voice echoed through the alley. She's mine, Ethan. Ethan raised his gun, eyes locked on Alex. For a second, I thought he might still be my ally. Then he glanced at me and smiled. A cold, empty smile. I'm cashing in, sweetheart. The shot rang out. Pain exploded in my side, hot and searing. I stumbled, clutching the wound, the world tilting. Alex froze mid-stride, stunned. Ethan didn't give him a chance to react. 2 shots later, Alex crumpled to the ground. The last thing I saw before darkness swallowed me was Ethan standing over both of us, the flash drive in his hand. And then nothing.